Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Agent Mix, and I'm back with another video in a long time. Like, this is the first video I've made in a while. Like, I haven't sat down and recorded a video in a minute. I've been doing a lot more streaming lately, but I actually wanted to get back into making videos, and I thought, you know what, better way to get back into recording videos than to actually tackle this right here, which is Amazon Luna, Amazon's new streaming platform that we knew was coming. We knew about it for a while. But they finally announced it, I want to say last week at the time that I'm recording this video. And I kind of wanted to spend the weekend, I was going to originally just record the video right away as soon as I found out about it. But I kind of wanted to spend the weekend, kind of just dissecting what the consensus was in the gaming community, I'll say, in Stadia community, and other communities, in the cloud gaming community, before I made this video and really, tackle all things I need to know when tackling Luna. So, of course, we knew, like I said, Luna was coming. Luna was under the codename Tempo, last year. I think that's what we knew it as, Tempo, but Amazon finally settled on Luna. And in this video, I guess we'll kind of be, doing an overview of Luna and what it has to offer. I'm on their landing page right now, and kind of just going through all the things that Luna has to offer, and then we'll do a small little comparison to Stadia and Game Pass at the end. So let's just get into it. So Amazon Luna, of course, is a cloud gaming streaming platform. I actually requested early access for this. It's only in early access, so that's something to note. They're going to do it in a lot fresher or better way than Stadia did it. They're doing it in a I don't know why I said fresher, but it's not fresher. It's just like, you're supposed to have a beta with something like this. But they're gonna do it. They're gonna fall in the footsteps of xCloud and do a beta, which is what Stadia should have done. But it's in early access only, and they actually did a whole trailer. And it's, in my opinion, right? In my opinion, and I'm actually gonna play it right now. Hold on, let me mute it, cause I don't want to get copyright or anything. But I would argue that Luna's trailer is the best trailer I've seen for any of the cloud gaming streaming platforms, period. Their trailer really conveys all the things that you need to know about Luna, what it is, what it does, and all that stuff. You see her running around with the controller, she's passing screens, and they're lining up. You see the houses, they're lining up as she has a controller, conveying you can play it anywhere. You can play this Luna any and everywhere you want to, right? On any screen you want to. And they're really conveying that. And that's why I really, like this trailer. They did a lot better than Stadia did with the lightning guy. Forgot his name, bro. The dude that had the lightning and all that stuff, man. That trailer was so corny and cheesy, man. It didn't, it kind of conveyed what we needed to know, but I prefer Amazon's take on the whole trailer thing. And of course, Xbox, Microsoft, they've been around. They know how to do it. So of course theirs was good, but I actually argue that this was the best trailer we've seen. And they're really simple, straight to the point. They do their whole little point. They show off their games, and they talk about all the things they have to offer for their platform. And I really like that, right? And of course, games that their library of games that they have lined up is pretty aggressive, in my opinion. I think that's an aggressive lineup, a competitive lineup of games, because they're games that we haven't really seen on Stadia yet. Even Resident Evil is a pretty aggressive title. We have no idea if it's coming to Stadia yet, but a lot of these titles we haven't seen from Stadia yet. Of course, we've seen SteamWorld. We know Watch Dogs Legion is coming. We know Valhalla's coming. Exodus we have. But there's a handful of games we haven't seen on Stadia yet. So they have a pretty aggressive lineup of games that they want to show, especially Sonic Mania. That's a title right there that people are gonna notice. They're like, oh, Sonic, Sega, they're doing that? Okay, all right. That's something that caught my eye as soon as I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, that's dope. But they have a pretty aggressive, or competitive lineup right here, just what they're showing off. So let me just go into a little bit of how Amazon is doing it, right? Or doing their platform. So Amazon is doing their platform in a sense of, in a way that's more akin to like channels, right? Like TV channels, you know what I'm saying? Not really, you're switching channels literally on Luna, but like how they're going to be organizing and categorizing their games is going to be based on you know, there's going to be a channel specifically for a developer. So, for example, or a publisher. For example, Ubisoft is going to have its own channel, and I guess that's going to be or you know, we assume that's going to be called like the Uplay Plus channel. You're going to have a whole bunch of Ubisoft titles on the Ubisoft channel, and that's where you're going to go if you want to play any title from Ubisoft. And I've also heard that it's going to be like it's possibly going to be a rotating roster of games out of that channel. So you know, sometime or at some point you'll be able to play this game for a while, and then it'll be rotated out for another game or something like that. That's what it looks like it's going to be doing. That's kind of murmuring around. It looks like how it's possibly going to be. But there's going to be specific channels for publishers and developers. So as you see right here, you have your Ubisoft, which is going to be Uplay Plus, obviously. You have your Capcom channel, 505 channel, a Team 17 channel, and they're constantly adding more. You know, but those are the big ones they want to mention. Ubisoft and Capcom at 505, and I haven't really heard of Team 17 much. I'm actually curious of what they've made. I actually have to do some research on them. But 505 I recognize, and of course we know Ubisoft and Capcom. But they're going to be channels, right? So that's why, you know, they have this section, get started with game channels. So, of course, you have your Luna Plus, right? So, you know, Luna Plus is going to be basically in addition to, you know, your Luna, I guess your base package. I assume with Luna Plus there's going to be possibly a base portion of Luna, kind of like how Stadia is. But at the same time, right, another murmuring, or not really murmuring, but something that was conveyed was Amazon's not really looking to do like a platform to where you're able to buy, you know, your games. That's what it looks like is the consensus. Amazon's not going to allow you to buy games outright on their platform and play them. So that's why this Luna Plus whole little name scheme is kind of weird, but I guess we can consider it early access naming scheme or whatever and call it a night, Luna, moon, night. Get it? Let me stop. But anyway, the early access pricing, because it is an early access, it's $5.99 a month. That's subject to change once it actually releases and launches. You get unlimited hours of play. Unlimited hours of play meaning no queue. A growing library of games used to. I'm sorry, I said used. Up to 1080p, 60 frames per second, and 4K is coming soon. You're able to stream on 2 devices at a time and play on PC, Mac, Fire TV, web apps for iPhone and iPad. And we're gonna talk about that Apple thing right there, that glaring Apple, you know, elephant that is there. And then of course you have your Ubisoft channel, which is, you know, unlimited hours of play, ultimate editions of DLC with select titles. So for example, Valhalla on Luna. If there's an Ultimate Edition, it's going to be case by case. They're more than likely going to, you know, give you access to DLC if you pay for Uplay Plus. Up to 1080p, 60 frames per second. You can stream on one device at a time with Ubisoft titles. And you can play on PC, Mac, Fire TV, and web apps for iPhone and iPad. And here's the controller. So, designed for Luna. So, as you already know, Amazon's, who's it, Alexa? Alexa's integrated into the controller. We have a very recognizable mic button, just kind of like how on the Stadia controller, we have a Google Assistant button. I don't know what this circle button is, this on the left. I don't know what that is. That might be a capture button, and of course you have a menu button, or I guess a start button. And of course you have your Amazon or your Amazon Luna logo in the middle as your little home button, maybe, like how we have the Stadia logo in the middle of ours. Controller looks pretty nice. I like the purple. It's obviously a hit at Twitch because, you know, Amazon owns Switch, right? I think Amazon owns Switch, or they have a relationship. You know, Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, that's their whole thing. And they are talking about their powered by cloud direct technology, which allows you to basically connecting your controller to everything through the cloud. Directly to the cloud. That's essentially what that is. They have a little video for that. Their UI is really nice. I would argue their UI is better than Stadia's is. Stadia needs to work on their stuff. I'm not gonna hold you. They really do. But they're talking about, you know, pick up and play. You can easily game between screens. No pairing. Just play. It talks directly to the cloud. There's no need for device specific setup. I assume you set up in the beginning, but after that you kind of just do what you do. I guess it's based on vicinity. I don't know how they're doing it, but I assume that's what they're trying to convey. And their controller is built for gaming. Features low friction thumbsticks and a comfortable texture grip and wireless gameplay. Alexa's got game. Alexa is in there, and they're doing a whole little Alexa play Grid, and Grid will pop up. Kind of how Google Stadia will be doing eventually once that whole support launches, which we've been waiting on for a while. And then they also have Twitch integration and their whole little tagline, for the love of play. I requested early access already, so I hope I can get my hands on it so I can show you guys a little bit of how Luna works. And of course, they're doing a little bit of a Q&A here. You know, what is Luna, Luna Plus, all that stuff. You know, what is the support, all that jazz. But I also wanted to go back to what I said earlier. Hold on, let me get it in my head. The Amazon, no, not Amazon, the Apple-sized elephant in the room. So, if you know what's been going on in the gaming industry for a while, you know, there's been some things with Apple and Fortnite, which is where this really started. You know, Fortnite and Apple, they have their whole little spat going on. Do some research on it. I would go in depth, but I kind of want to focus on the cloud gaming aspect of it. But in the cloud streaming or gaming side of it, Google and xCloud, or Microsoft and Proxy xCloud, which is what the main things are. You know, Apple is basically saying to Stadia and xCloud that for those two platforms to work on Apple devices, you know, which is the whole point of it is game streaming games. For that whole, you know, process to work, there has to be an individual game for every single title through those platforms. So basically, for example, if you were playing Stadia, you want to play Stadia or stream Stadia to your iPhone, not only would you not be streaming games anymore, would you have to download the game specifically, we'll just say Grid, you have to download Grid from the Apple App Store. So the devs of Grid would have to put the game on the Apple App Store, tie it into Stadia. You pay for the game using Apple's App Store through Stadia, and then have to turn around and download Grid to play Grid on the iPhone. So it's not even get cloud streaming anymore. You have to download every title for it to work, right? That's across Stadia and that's across xCloud, both. So they want basically they basically shut down cloud streaming completely, cloud gaming completely on Apple devices. Now, here is the Apple-shaped element. You know, I mentioned I went into depth with the cloud gaming side, but if you go back into the Fortnite stuff, and I know I didn't want to go too depth into it, but basically, Fortnite's whole thing was in-app purchases, right? So, they wanted to allow players to, you know, buy their purchases, their V-Bucks and all that stuff directly from them. And Apple was like, no, everything has to go through the Apple Store, right? Or the Apple, the Apple Store, the iOS store, right? So they had a problem with that. They had a whole spat. It's a whole thing. Go search it up. I'm sure you already know, probably. So the thing is, though, it was a 30% cut. That's the main thing. 30% cut out of all the app in-app purchases and all that stuff. That's really the way it comes down to, money as usual. But Apple has a deal with Amazon to where their 30% cut is pretty much reduced in all their things, right? And I don't even think it halfway doesn't even exist when it comes to Amazon. Right? So the reason I brought that up is because Amazon and Apple already have a relationship. And I know Apple's in hot water with a lot of people. But they already have a relationship. So more than likely, them focusing on iOS is their way of saying, yeah, Apple, we want to work with you, not against you. Right? We want to work with you, not against you. So they're trying to find a way to distinctly make that connection. You know what I'm saying? So my mom just came in. That's why the door just opened and closed. But they want to make that connection, right? That's what they're focusing on, Apple. But at the same time, then they said web apps for iPhone and iPad, right? So only web apps. So that's basically going to be your Chromes and your Safaris. So that is basically their way that they got around Apple saying no to cloud gaming, and it's so weird. It's so weird that's what they're doing. It's so weird. That they just went around it. They were like, oh, we found a loophole. We're just going to go around you, right? And, and it's weird not because they did it, but it's because they did it first. And Google's not really making an attempt. And Microsoft's not making that attempt. It's a weird thing, right? And I'm not sure if xCloud is able to do that through web app, but I know Stadia is because you can play Stadia on a Chrome browser. So that's why it's weird that it was Amazon whose platform isn't even technically launched yet is the one to do it and say it and do it first, that they could do that. That's insane to me. But of course I want to mention all that because of Amazon's relationship in the whole 30% cut and all that jazz in the gaming industry. It's a whole thing, but I had to mention it because of all this Apple stuff here. And of course it's going to be coming to Android and all that stuff. It's already on PC, but it's going to be coming to Android devices at a later date. But in the beta, it's only going to be specific to web apps for iPhone and iPad, and of course PC, Mac, and Fire TV, and all their Amazon Jet stuff, But I guess now at this point, now that we've gotten through all that, and then there's Twitch integration. So now they're doing their own form of click to play, kind of like how YouTube is doing their, Stadia's doing their thing. If someone's playing Control on Twitch, and if someone's playing Control on Twitch and Control's on Luna, you're able to click it, play it on, and get straight into Luna and play it. So yeah, that's how they're doing it. Just kind of how click to play is with Stadia. So now I guess we'll kind of talk about a comparison. And I just realized how much time I spent on all that. Now we'll talk about a comparison, right? A little bit of a comparison. So Luna's platform, or Amazon Luna, right? Their price point, first, super aggressive, $5.99. Of course, this price is more than likely going to change after it comes out of beta. But I think it's a really good spot. Of course, with Luna, you're not going to be able to purchase your games outright like you are on Stadia. And of course, I guess at the same time, like you are able to do with Game Pass, because obviously if you have Game Pass, you have an Xbox, you're already doing that. But you're not going to be able to do that. So I guess right now, instead of a comparison, kind of a comparison, but not really, I'm just going to tell you what I think, or who I think Luna is for, the specific group. And I know we do this a lot. There's been tons of people that are like, who is Stadia for? Who is, what's the point of Stadia? Who is Stadia for? Who is Game Pass and xCloud for? Blah, blah, blah. I know, I get it. But I feel the need to do this part because Luna's in a distinct position that I feel like I have to focus on that position. And basically, Luna's in the spot where you're not going to be able to purchase your games through Luna. It's really just a subscription service. So essentially it's a Game Pass, but right now it's a cheaper Game Pass. And I would argue if they were able to cut this price the way it's being cut, I would argue that maybe Luna is probably going to be more for people who are more casual one and don't necessarily have a connection to or want to buy their games or own their games in a sense, quote unquote. Right? So they don't really care. They're like the Stadia user that's not really buying games that much, but is paying the $10 a month because we get free games, quote unquote, every month, and it's just stacking up their library. So when they do subscribe, they have games they can play, right? That's essentially who Luna's going to be for. And I use Stadia, for example, because I'm kind of one of those people who has just been paying $10 a month because they have it's an updating library of games. I'm not really buying any games because why would I buy games when essentially I'm gonna be getting quote unquote free games every month if I just keep my subscription up and they're on my account forever. So I can kind of dip in and dip out whenever I want, quote unquote, kind of. But I'm not pressured to buy a new game if I have nothing to play because I'm paying for Stadia Pro. I think Luna is going to be for those people who are like that aren't really buying games on Stadia, but are, but want to play games, right? They want to play games, but they don't really, feel like, having so much commitment. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel like having to keep their Pro subscription up or their Luna Plus subscription up to claim games on stuff. They kind of just subscribe when they want to play games and unsubscribe when they don't. If they're like, oh, this month I haven't really been playing much, I'm going to cancel my subscription. I don't think I'm going to be playing much. I'm going to be super busy. I'm not going to have time. I'm going to cancel this month. Maybe next month I'll jump back into Luna. It doesn't look like there's any claiming system or anything where you have to claim the games. You just have channels to where, oh, I like games from Ubisoft. I'm going to go to that channel, find Assassin's Creed Valhalla or something like that. Or, I want to play a Capcom game. What's a Capcom game? Street Fighter? That's wait, hold on. Hold up. Brand Capcom. I didn't want to be wrong. Anyway, Street Fighter, Capcom game. I'm gonna go to the Capcom channel and play Street Fighter 5, right? For example. So those are the type of people that I feel like Luna's for. They don't really want to have any commitment, right? So Luna's in that weird distinct position right there. And I would even argue there's gonna be a lot of people from Stadia, depending on how Luna positions itself entirely and how they do all these channels. Like, are you going to be paying for each channel specifically, or Luna Plus is going to get you access to everything, right? You know what I'm saying? And maybe you can pay, a little bit more money in certain areas like Ubisoft for a specific publisher if you want to get like the Ultimate Editions for DLC, like how Ubisoft is, or Uplay Plus is going to be integrated into Luna. Kind of just depends on the person and what they're going for. And if that's how they're doing it, I feel like a lot of people from Stadia or that have been using Stadia for a while are going to be kind of gravitating to that area. If Stadia for them is just claiming games every month, and they're not really 100% interested in buying the games outright. They just want to play the games, right? And I genuinely think with this price point, if they can keep it around here, $10 or less, I think that's going to be a lot more appealing to a lot of people. A lot of people want that next Netflix for games, regardless of if the business model is superior or not. We always talk about the business model, but some people don't care about the business model. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't care that Stadia allows you to claim your games every month and they're on your account forever, and you're able to buy games as well. Some people just want to play game 1 month. They might just say, hey, I want to play a game this month. I have a mouse, I have a desktop, laptop, a keyboard, whatever. I just want to play a game this month. So I'm going to subscribe to one of these services. I play, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Don't have the money to get a console right now. I don't want to have to spend so much or do too much. I just want to subscribe and pay like $6, play it. There you go. And then probably not going to touch the game ever again after I finish it. You know what I'm saying? There's people like that. That might be what people want. So anyway, that's kind of my take on it. Thanks for watching the video. I'm going to end it there. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments if you're the guy that's kind of just okay with just paying the $6 a month or whatever, $7 a month, just to play one game, and then you're done with it later on. You don't really want to have to deal with the commitment of subscribing just to play these games and have them on your account. If you're that type of guy, let me know. Or if you're the type of the guy that wants a one and done platform like Stadia, where you're able to buy the games, you're gonna have your pro subscription, you're able to do all that stuff all at once. If you're that type of guy, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for watching. It's your boy AG Mix. I'm out. Peace.